Do we care? Charlamagne, Joe Budden.
Do you know what?
Do we know enough? Do we give a shit? Should we leave that alone and just focus on UK shit?
Yeah. I mean, like, I haven't had the opportunity to delve into it like too much.
But have you listened to the Brilliant Idiots episode where they're speaking? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So like, I don't want to have a one-sided argument to it. Like I need a well-rounded perspective on what's going on. And do you know what it is? It's just a battle of the players, in position, in a certain position.
Yeah, Joe positions it as Magneto and Professor X.
Yeah,
that's how he positions them. So I've listened to both enough. So I think I'll give a small synopsis. I won't say this too long. So Joe obviously had all the issues with Spotify, and he that episode, the episode where he aired his issues out, and the watch issues, and No Holiday, the issues with regards to Day are slowly falling down their chart list, even though like they outperform everybody every week, do like 500,000 every episode, and somehow they're suddenly like 9th in the charts when it's negotiation time, which is weird. We know what they did to them, innit? Push them down the list to make it look like they're doing less numbers so that you can ask for less. Spotify playing a dirty game with them. Spotify US, obviously. Spotify UK, shout man. So he aired his grievances, and then that was obviously a talking point on the radio. Breakfast Club spoke about it, and the consensus was that Charlamagne's energy towards it was a little bit too spicy. He was kind of like, Joe doesn't know how to negotiate. The whole holiday thing was his fault. And I'll be honest, you look at me, I do kind of echo that, because I'm like, how did you not negotiate holidays in at the time, innit? Obviously, to make that story more palatable to the audience, and it's not a disrespect, it's that obviously I had a family member who's going through mad health complications, we couldn't get holiday. Just definitely give me holiday. But also, I've spoken here about Mace and Meg and all the different artists that we speak about their contracts. We look at you as like, for the creatives, on the money. That to me is criminal. Whether that was you, your lawyer, your guys who did it in the negotiation, the fact there was no holiday was factored in, that for me is your L to have, innit? Now, them dealing you dirty and the whole watch situation, yeah, that's Spotify. But I think sometimes you got to take accountability. That one I was like, yeah. But people didn't like how Charlamagne responded. So, cut long story short, Joe then responds on the podcast, and he has spicier energy towards Charlamagne. And he kind of positions, I'm sure you've seen that one, he positions him as a worker and Joe as a boss. Like, I own this. You've never owned anything. You work there. Me and you are not the same. Stay out of my way.
Type of person.
Dame Dash type of energy. Stay out of my way. Stop interrupting me whilst I do what I need to do, innit? We don't get the response on Brilliant Idiots the following week because I think they're away on holiday. Obviously, I know that because Breakfast Club was away. Now they're actually back in the studio. He's back in New York, so he can actually stop doing the stuff via Zoom, innit? Don't get a response. Then last week, Thursday, when the episode drops, we eventually get the response from Charlamagne. But backstory, in between that time period, news came out about Joe in regards to the whole dog stuff, him like wanking off his dog, and then some family dramas with like his baby mum and leaked audio tape and accusations. So like he had a tough week, innit? And I think on their Wednesday episode or Saturday episode, he didn't pod properly because he was going through shit, innit? So to make a long story longer, get to Thursday now, Charlamagne responds, and obviously he's got the big announcement of like the Black Effect podcast network, and this big conglomerate of like all the people he's worked with or people you might have seen or heard on Brilliant Idiots. They now have their own podcast network on iHeart, 50-50 joint venture partnership, and his response obviously to the ownership talk and accusation of him being a worker. Obviously people are stupid and slow on the internet. They're like, oh yeah, Joe had to light you up for you to go and get that done. Bro, do you think that a deal of that magnitude gets done in 3 to 4 weeks? That's something that's been a year in the making, but nobody cares because, it's more entertaining to say that, innit? So Charlamagne responds, he has a bit more spicy energy, his co-host has spicy energy, and he basically reiterates that like you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate, which I don't think, I take it as that's him having a jab straight back at Joe, like watch me cooking it over here, I know what I'm doing, we're in control, I'm gonna get what I need to get, and then something that stood out for me in terms of what he said, whilst there were all the little jokes about the dog and the back and forth, was that at the end of the day, with this thing, in regards to media, creatives, and even just work in general, they can never pay us our true worth. Because in the US, wasn't the goal to get 40 acres and a mule? All now, no mule, no acre. On your block, they're gentrifying, you got Starbucks or you got Wendy's, or you got all these different shops and that. Nobody ain't got their 40 acres and a mule. You know, can we even have reparation conversations in the UK? Up until 2015, we were paying off the debt from slavery for our taxes. 2015. When you, as a black person, even if they pay me, if I put a figure, it's still not enough. I'm owed more. Double it. Yeah, double it. And pay me in pound sterling, not naira. Because you fucked up that currency. Yeah, I'm awake, bruv. Man's awake, fam. Like, we know what's going on here. So, and I think that kind of gets lost in the conversation. So, obviously Joe responds now, and then he feels like the smear campaign could possibly be, you know, from Charlamagne's direction and iHeart and his issues with Tahiri. But I look at the devil in the detail. This is for people that, apologies if you're not really up in the story. For these people that really know what's going podcast wise, as with everything and men in their issues, it's women. And ego, but women. Tahiri's in the middle of that, and ego. And I say the devil's in the detail because I watch episodes where they're arguing and Joe alludes to him feeling that Charlamagne has issues with him or says things bad about him because he wants to fuck Tahiri. And I've watched this on my screen, but no one ever catches that. I don't ever feel in it. And Charlamagne responds is, I could fuck Tahiri off my own merit. I don't need to down another man. If I want to get that, I want to get that. I feel like, this is my alleged, they're Eskimo brothers. They've got one in common with Homegirl. And that's what's between them, really. You know? And it plays out proxy war with the creative conversation and ownership, because that's a way to little bro and try and sun Charlamagne in with the breakfast. And I understand where Joe's coming from with the breakfast conversation. You've been there for 10 years. You don't own this, you don't own that. But he owns his podcast with Brilliant Idiots. He's now got this. And I find it funny how people that would take that kind of deal in a heartbeat are very critical of Charlamagne's deal. Oh, you don't own nothing, or you didn't put your own money up. The little things I've looked at, a lot of people, some of your favourites speak about other people's time, other people's money. Your Dom Kennedys, even Nipsey Hussles, Jay-Z traditionally, who a lot of people reference, they've done partnerships. You do partnerships at times, innit? You know?
A lot of the time.
A lot of the time, innit? You know? And yes, I respect if you can put up your own money. But there's also a very massive risk. There's nothing wrong with going to deal with or like into partnership with someone and you can share that risk. And another thing he kind of touched on, which I think people kind of lose out when they do the indie thing or they want to work with these big corporations, you benefit from their marketing spend. You lot all saw the big billboard of Joe Budden in Times Square. Those things help. It's over here in the UK. Shouts out the receipt. Shouts out free shots. Lit before the podcast, the Spotify deal. Been lit. Doing your thing. But it's nice when I'm in Canary Wharf and I'm standing on the platform and I see that billboard. And that raises awareness. Could you have done it on your own? I don't know.
Fam.
Would you have done it on your own? I don't know. But they did. So there is still a benefit of working with a big platform. It's just leveraging and making sure you get as much as you can get and get what you deserve. But I don't think you should ever downplay what they can possibly and they do for people, innit? Because there's a reason why people want to traditionally have been signed or work in this label or work with that person, because there's something that comes with it.
A lot of owners are like majority shareholders, and there's other shareholders that, you know, they're owners too, because they own.
Bro, look at someone said Jeff Bezos only owns like a double digit, like 11-12% of Amazon, but he's the majority shareholder because it's spread out amongst other people.
Yeah. So like, you know, there's other people within.
Is he still shit? Because from over here,
it's only the broke people that have to comment. Like the people that don't have it will be the ones that analyze on the people that do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and you know, you wouldn't truly understand until you're in their shoes.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of us, and even me, this is just my POV, my perspective. I'll be interested for our listeners if you know what's going on and or even just got an opinion in general in regards to Joe and Charlamagne. Share it. Use the hashtag with #OffTheCuffPod.
Come on.
I'm happy the network's happening. I think that's a direction to go in for a lot of people, is to obviously pull the resources together. And I just hope that the people who've signed over there own enough of their content so they're not getting shafted in it.
There's a few there. I think you got Drink Champs over
there. Yeah, he's got some big names. Drink Champs, 85 South, with DC Youngfly, Chico Bean and Carlos Miller. So if you watch Wild 'N Out, that's a big deal. He's got Jess Hilarious. What I respect is that he's always tried to pull people in, you know. So like even his co-host Andrew Schultz, The reason why he is Andrew Schultz of today, the big comedian, is because of the co-signer standing next to Charlamagne.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we know Andrew Schultz.
Yeah.
That's why we know him. And a lot of us love Taxstone. Don't sit here and lie to me that you lot knew Taxstone prior to podcast. He was on Brilliant Idiots as a guest.
Yeah.
And they pushed him to have a podcast. And we got that tax season, which is like a legendary podcast. You know, and that's one thing I do rate about Charla.
Free tax, man. I missed that podcast.
That's one of the latest podcasts. For me, that's one of the most latest podcasts ever. Just
weekly without
street
fail.
energy, like.
And he was funny.
Yeah, he was funny, and he can sit there on his own for a lot of the time as well. Pod, which isn't like it's a skill that not a lot of people have, bruv. Like it's not easy, innit? So that I've rated. And I think with regards to their beef, I will say one thing. I don't think Mal and Rory can spar with Andrew Schultz. So obviously we've got Joe and Charlamagne beefing. And then the B mics, in terms of beef, it doesn't help that Andrew's a comedian as well. I don't think they got enough. Because they can barely sometimes spar with Joe. And I think that's why, like, coming up, I always kind of enjoyed Brilliant Idiots because it was a good back and forth of the energies, isn't it? Like, they would banter each other. And I've even seen Joe on there kind of get washed in debates by Andrew Schultz.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, this thing, I'm a bit of a pod nerd. I pay attention, innit? So if you are a pod nerd like myself, you know what I'm referring to, innit? So it'll be nice to see, man. We'll see how the beef cooks up. Obviously, this week there'll be more content, so we'll see if there's any more back and forth.
I like Joe. But
you know,
sometimes
he's nuts, but we love him. He's like a lovable rogue.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Just yelling.
yeah. I just don't want people to kind of fall for the noise too much. There is a lot of credence to what he's saying, and I do believe that his mission is honest. But there is more than one way to go about this thing, innit? You know, so it's it'll be interesting times. It makes me definitely look at our scene a lot more. I'm trying to think, would there be any pod beef over here? Anyone gonna bump heads?
I mean,
Vans, just pass the burner, let man know, bruv. Yeah,
I wouldn't like there to be honest. Like, if I'm gonna keep it a buck.
yeah,
but
you're all for peace, positivity,
it's not
love
even
and
just,
light.
if it's not even just that. Like, you know, you don't have to double cross anyone whilst on your journey.
Facts.
Do you know what I mean? Like, believe
But don't
in your
get this,
product.
man have egos, bro.
Yeah,
People
of
have
course.
egos, bro. People have egos.
Of course, but
People have egos, man.
like, just believe in your product, man, and what you deliver. It's not going to be the same to what we deliver, and you know, vice versa, man. And
Very true.
just stay in your own lane, and you know, like, even if we are in the same kind of lane, there's ways that we can still, you know, succeed or eat, because that's the end goal, man. Everyone's just trying to eat, bruv, like, of what we bring.
Very true. Yeah, very true.
100%.
Yeah. It's a good place to end it, man. We don't even want to get too topical this week.
New music.
Actually, yes, new music. How bad of me? New music. We played Lager, Millions.
Yeah.
Steph London's got a new song called, is it Move or Move On? Nice video.
I haven't seen the video yet, but I heard the song.
What song?
Steph,
Okay, yeah, I saw the video.
called Move. I guess she's prepping something now.
I think she's warming up. It's time to come back. We need something
It's time
from you.
to come back. And obviously, like, I think last week or a week before, we were mentioning Miss Banks with Novikov.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, there's that lane there for them to kind of capitalize, because I think the up-and-comers, like, are really making noise.
Yeah. And if you're the front runner, you need to show and prove still, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Passaloo,
Yeah.
featuring Back Row G, Family.
My
What do we think of
Family.
that?
It's alright, man.
Yeah.
Afs.
It's af. It's alright.
Yeah.
I like the video.
Gambian and Congolese, yeah.
Yeah.
Video. Energy.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy in that video and that song. I can imagine it being like, you know, super hype for the kids, for the youths and that.
My Family.
What do we think of, like, Pastor Lou? Like, because obviously his introduction was like, oh yeah,
The Reebok J Huss.
yeah,
I think he's
like hologram Huss.
I think he's carving out his own thing for
I
himself.
think he's doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Even the tune that he did before, the one I saw the video, it was like in red. That tune was a banger.
And do you know what it is as well, yeah?
That tune was a banger.
I don't know what Huss really feels behind the scenes, but publicly, or at least on social media, he embraced him and said he's my brother and he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
So
I think what people were trying to pit him against him, like, early on.
No, that frontline song he does, like,
He's
He did
very
sound like
Huss
innit?
influence.
It's like JB Schofield when he when
Do
I
we-
found JB Schofield and he sounded like Ambush. You know, like growing up, we always respect people to have their own style in it. So he just got to carve out for himself.
Do
and-
we believe that imitation is a form of flattery?
I don't know. I swear the quote is longer than I swear there's more to that quote, innit?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's-
Sometimes you got to chop it up, innit?
Man just gave us the mean one.
Yeah, like I was in a butcher shop.
I don't
do you know what?
I don't know. I don't believe it is, bruv.
Yeah, do you know what I was speaking to Miss K,
Yeah.
Bang, the other day, and she wanted to know my thoughts on the song, and I was like, and she believed that Pastor Lou sounds different every time she hears him, and I was saying that maybe I'm under the belief that he was aware of the Huss comparisons, that he's just given us like a hybrid of him, without like really getting to tell us who he actually is.
Yeah, we still need to find out who's at the minute. We're just getting bangers, isn't it? So this is the full quote. Yeah, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness.
Yeah, man's not gonna say all that.
Yeah,
Imitation is the sincerest
form
of flattery, where the hamana.
Yeah, that mediocrity, and that's by Oscar Wilde. So so you're just saying, if you're saying that statement, you're just admitting that you're mediocre, and that's all you can do is you can't carve out your own style.
Yeah,
you've got to,
some people need
do a
benchmark,
version of
though,
another man's, innit? You're showing you're not levels, innit? So
yeah,
it's just that. But
we got more. Alika just released an EP, Wiz EP.
yeah,
Shouts to Alika.
big song on there, the intro song called Karma. It's my favorite.
Yeah,
Definitely gonna run that.
she's got action as well,
Yeah,
which
she's
is
from
dope.
like the dance community, but this EP gives us a different little like R&B-ish style. She'll give us some different styles. And
Yeah, Trillery Banks is on there. Big.
Yo.
Shoof. Wee.
Let's stand up.
man said Leicester stand up, you
Man
know.
said Jamie Vardy and them dogs.
Yo. Nux dropped an album or EP, what you want to call it?
I like him.
London Class.
Yeah.
I like him, man.
My
Yeah.
guy Deli 14s, he dropped an EP called Good Sports EP, so check that out.
Yeah, we need to update the playlist.
Yeah,
but
for sure, man.
My
We'll do that.
standout is, before we go, Usher, Bad Habits.
Woo!
The GOAT is back.
I love, but I'm fucking bad at it. It's just like, speak on it, King.
Yeah, we back. City boys in the building.
I love, but I'm bad at it.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, yeah.
But that's just a typical lyric for a nigga trying to buy more time and that. Like, babes, I'm gonna try, but like, I'm gonna fuck up. Players fuck up.
Like, it'll be a miracle if you take me back. You know,
Yeah.
when you're singing it in such sweet harmony, you should have no option to take you back, bruv.
Yeah,
Singing
nah.
like Usher, are you crazy? You gotta take me back.
Yeah. Clean video.
Clean.
Yeah.
And I love when it breaks into the Computer Love sample.
Computer love.
It pops off, man. I like to hear Usher like that, man. You know,
I know you're a real R&B nigga, innit?
Usher's my goat, fam.
Yeah.
And like, what was it, last week or the week before, when he done the whole Good Morning America announcing his Vegas residency,
Dope.
and he was singing "You Got It Bad" in a cappella.
Facts.
Had everyone sharing that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, remind these niggas,
Yeah.
bruv.
You lot's goats over there doing backflips. You don't need all that, bruv.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, landing on the beat to March Madness.
We don't need all that,
Fam,
You don't-
Usher is the guy, fam. Like, and I wanna hear a good album from him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was good to hear, man. It was good to hear.
Yeah. But man, listen, I'm happy we could do this.
Yeah.
And we could laugh throughout this podcast.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what I needed. Before we go, once again, rest in peace, Chad Alexander.
Rest in peace, man,
We,
my
we,
brother.
we miss you. We're definitely gonna keep your name alive. Yeah, man. Keep us in your thoughts and your prayers, man.
Yeah.
Run this one up. Just run this one up for us, man. Keep the numbers high.
Yeah.
Use the hashtag, which is hashtag off the cuff pod.
Get involved in the conversation.
Most definitely. SoundCloud gang, Spotify gang, Apple Podcast gang, YouTube gang.
Off the cuff worldwide, baby.
Shouts out Essie. We back next week.
Love you, Essie. Peace.
Hey.